The first thing you need to know about American football is the down and distance system. The down and distance system dictates how a team keeps possession of the ball. You see, American football teams are actually split into 3 sub-teams: the offense, the defense, and special teams. And only one of these sub-teams is allowed to be on the field at a time. The blue team has possession of the ball because their offense is on the field, and they want to get the ball down the field to score some points, whilst the purple team's defense is on the other side of the field trying to stop them. The place where the ball is placed is called the line of scrimmage, and in this case, it's on the 20-yard line. Now, if you watch a game on TV, you'll see a superimposed line on the line of scrimmage. Now, you see that yellow line? Well, the blue team needs to get the ball past that yellow line for them to stay on the field. The distance between the blue line and the yellow line is the distance in down and distance, and by default, that distance is 10 yards. But they actually get 4 chances to cross that yellow line. These chances are called downs, and you start with your first down and you finish with your 4th down. Now, if you don't pass the yellow line by your 4th down, you must give the ball back to the other team in the exact same spot where the ball is currently at. And that's the first thing you need to know about American football. But then the second thing to know is, how do we get the ball past that yellow line? Well, we can either run with the ball, which is called rushing, or we can throw the ball, which is called passing. Now, once the player with the ball is tackled to the ground, the play stops. So here we are, 1st and 10. First down and 10 yards to go. Now, let's say we run with the football 3 yards down the field, but then we get tackled to the ground. The first play has ended. The ball is placed at the spot where the player was tackled, which in this case is the 23-yard line. So the down and distance is 2nd and 7. The players all line up again on their sides to get ready for the next play. We run the ball again and get tackled after 2 yards. The ball is placed on the 25-yard line, and the down and distance is now 3rd and 5. The players line up again and get ready for the next play. For the next play, we throw the ball and the receiver catches it and runs, but gets tackled down at the 33-yard line. See how we have passed that yellow line? That means we have converted our 3rd down into a 1st down, so we can keep possession of the ball, and the other team's offense has to wait even longer to get the ball back. So the blue line is now moved to the 33-yard line, and we reset back to 1st down and 10, which means the yellow line moves 10 yards down from the line of scrimmage, and the players line up again to get ready for the next play. We then run the ball 5 yards down the field and then get tackled. The down and distance is now 2nd and 5. The players line up again. We run the ball, but we get pushed back and tackled down at the 30-yard line. That's a loss of 8 yards. So the down and distance is now 3rd and 13. Now that's a long way to go, 13 yards, and we only have 2 more downs left, our 3rd and our 4th down. Now, as a general rule of thumb, running with the ball is less risky, but you don't gain as many yards. Passing the ball is more risky because you might not catch it, but if you do catch it, you typically gain more yards. Now, that's not always the case, but it's a good starting point for now. So because we have 13 yards to go, we will pass the ball. The players line up again. The ball gets thrown very far, but one of their defenders manages to get in the way and deflect the ball away from us, and the ball hits the ground. This is called an incomplete pass because it wasn't caught. The defender can only deflect the ball. They cannot tackle our receiver until they've caught the ball. If the pass is incomplete, we don't gain or lose any yards, but we do use up one of our downs. So the down and distance is now 4th and 13. The players line up again, but because it's our 4th down, that yellow line becomes a red line. Now, we're currently zoomed in on the field, looking between the 20-yard line and the 45-yard line. But if we zoom out a bit, we can see the entire field, which is 100 yards long. The 50-yard line is in the middle, but the yard lines go down to the 1-yard line on each end of the field. And as you can see here, we are on a 4th and 13 with the ball on our own 30-yard line. So if we don't cross that red line, the purple team gets the ball back on our 30-yard line, which is very close to our end zone, making it very easy for them to score. Because there's a fair chance that we won't be able to cross that red line, we want to use our 4th down to kick that ball as far away as possible. This makes it harder for the purple team's offense to cover more ground and then score some points. So our offense and their defense comes off the field, and both our special teams come on the field. Our special team punts the ball down the field as far as possible, and their special team receives the ball. The purple team's offense then comes on the field, and our defense comes on the field. And the purple team's offense begins working their way down the field, starting with their 1st and 10, trying to maintain possession and ultimately to score some points. So how do we score points? Well, the first way to score points is by scoring a touchdown. A player can run the ball into the end zone or catch a ball in the end zone to get a touchdown. A touchdown is worth 6 points, but after scoring a touchdown, a team has the opportunity to get either 1 extra point or 2 extra points. So you can get up to 8 points from scoring a touchdown. To get 1 extra point, you have to kick the ball between the goalposts. The distance of this kick is very short, so it's very likely that you will get the extra point. The defense can block the kick, but it's quite rare that they actually do block the kick. So most times, you can assume a team will walk away with at least 7 points from a touchdown. To get a 2-point conversion, it's obviously a little bit harder. You have to try and score another touchdown from the 2nd-yard line, and you only get 1 down to do so. The chances of getting this is much lower than an extra point, so you seldomly see teams going for 2 unless they are really good or are desperate for points. Now let's put the scoring into some context. The ball is on the 25-yard line and it's a 4th down and 3. We are the blue team and we're getting close to their end zone. And what are we going to do? Well, one option that we could do is to try and score a touchdown. This would give us up to 8 points if we get a 2-point conversion. But we have to cross 25 yards, which is quite difficult. And if you don't pass the red line, they get the ball back and you walk away with 0 points. So the chances of this working out are fairly low. Option B is to just try and get a 1st down. That's a lot easier for us as it's just 3 yards away, but it's still quite risky because if we don't pass the red line, they get the ball back and we walk away with 0 points. Option C would be to punt the ball to push them further back to their 1-yard line. Now we won't get any points, but we do make it harder for them to try and score against us next time. And lastly, we have option D, which is to kick a field goal. A field goal is worth 3 points and is the next main way in which we score points. A field goal is where the ball is placed on the ground at the line of scrimmage. It's passed back to a ball holder who then places the ball on the ground and the kicker then kicks the ball through the goalposts. In the case of a 4th and 3 on the 25-yard line, well, 25 yards is actually quite short for a field goal, and there's almost a guarantee that we will walk away with 3 points. So most teams in this situation would pick option D, and if not, then option B. Now these chance percentages that you see on the side are ballpark numbers. So if our offensive line is great at blocking and their defensive line is pretty weak against the run, we might be keen for option B and go for the 1st down. Or maybe our quarterback is an amazing passer and we trust his accuracy more than our kicker, and we decide to throw a deep pass and catch the defense off guard. In this case, option A might work. You see, scoring in American football isn't as simple as just scoring touchdowns as fast as possible, because scoring affects possession of the ball, and whoever has possession of the ball can control the clock. And the clock can be used to your advantage to make it harder or easier for you or for them to score points. Another big factor in considering a field goal is field goal range. So generally speaking, if you're on a 4th down and you are in field goal range, you will attempt a field goal. Now field goal range is dependent on how far your kicker can kick. However, if you are at a field goal range and you are on a 4th down, the best thing to do is punt the ball to the other team. So that's touchdowns and field goals. The defense can also score points by pushing the other team's offense back into their end zone. Here, the purple team has pushed the blue team back into their end zone and tackled them to the ground. And this is called a safety, and it gives the defensive team 2 points. The defense can also score touchdowns too, by picking up a live ball, called a fumble recovery, or by intercepting a pass and running the ball into the opponent's end zone. These are called defensive touchdowns. If the defense manages to intercept a pass or pick up a live ball, but they get tackled or go out of bounds, the defense comes off the field and then their offense comes on the field. This is one of the best things that a defense can do, because they have not only stopped the opponent from scoring, but they have not allowed them to punt the ball deep into our side of the field. This is called a turnover, because they have had to turn the ball over to our team. Now, whenever a play is ended, the offense has 40 seconds to start the next play. It sounds like a lot of time, but it's not. This is tracked using the play clock, not to be confused with the game clock, which counts down the entire game in 15-minute quarters. Unlike most other ball sports, the game clock doesn't run down continuously. Certain plays, timeouts, penalties, and other things can stop the game clock, which is why 1 hour of the game clock doesn't equate to 1 hour of actual playing time. After a play has ended, the players will be all over the field and the offense regroups together to get ready for the next play. Meanwhile, on the sideline, one of the coaches is the team's offensive play caller, who decides what the next play will be. They will assess the situation and choose a play and what players will go on the field for that play. Now, unlike most team sports where you are only allowed a handful of substitutions for the entire game, in American football, players are constantly going on and off the field depending on the play. There are no substitution limits. This is because each position is highly specialized and different plays require different combinations of players. The athletic build of each position is also quite different, ranging from big and strong to small, solid and agile to fast and lean. Now, when choosing a play, the play caller will factor in things like the down and distance, how much time is left in the game, the current score, the defense's strengths and weaknesses, what you think the defense is going to predict what you will do, and current injuries and exertion levels of players, and you might even keep certain players fresh for other plays that you might want to do a little bit later. And there's many other things that get considered, but this just gives you a rough idea. Once the play caller has chosen the play, they communicate via a headset to the quarterback, who is the leader of the offensive team. The quarterback's helmet has an inbuilt earpiece that allows him to hear the play. An example of a play name could be shotgun trips right, 61Y, cross Z motion on 3. This tells the offense the formation that they'll be lining up in, how the quarterback will be protected, where everybody needs to be running, any adjustments or motions that'll be made, and when the ball needs to be snapped. So if we go back to the play clock, which started at 40 seconds, the time it took for all our offensive players to regroup, the play caller to choose a play, and then tell the quarterback might be about 10 seconds. The quarterback then assembles the offense into a huddle and tells them what the play is. Each player needs to listen carefully to hear what they must do on the next play, and this might take roughly 7 seconds. Now after this, the team lines up in formation. The quarterback stands behind the offensive line. Now I would say that the quarterback has arguably one of the most difficult and high pressure jobs in team sports. Their decision making and ability to stay calm under pressure has drastic effects on the rest of the team. Physically, they have to throw the ball very far and have good overall fitness and strength, and they will also get hit very hard many times during the game. The offensive linemen are lined up in front of the quarterback. These guys are big, powerful dudes that need to protect the quarterback and block the defensive team. The center lineman is the leader of the offensive line, and they start each play by passing the ball to the quarterback between their legs, which is called snapping the ball. Opposite the offensive linemen on the defensive team are the defensive linemen who are trying to tackle the quarterback and other players. On the offense, running backs stand beside or behind the quarterback in the backfield, and on running or rushing plays, they run the ball down the field. Then we have the wide receivers who catch the passes from the quarterback. Their names are easy to remember because they receive the catches from the quarterback. On the defensive team, opposite the wide receivers, are the cornerbacks. They are very fast and good at catching, and their job is to try and stop the wide receivers from catching the ball. This might take another 7 seconds. As the team is lined up, you will see the quarterback is incredibly focused. He is looking at the defense and trying to read what they are doing. This is called the pre-snap read, because it happens before the ball is snapped. The quarterback has to know where all his players are running and will see who the defense has matched up against his players. The defense, knowing this, will try and trick the quarterback and go into a fake formation. The quarterback might decide to motion one of his players to see how the defensive team reacts. This may expose their real formation. The pre-snap read, motion of the player, and the processing of the defense's reaction may take another 6 seconds off the clock. So now there's 10 seconds to go. The quarterback realizes that their play won't work as the defense has got good coverage against the play. The quarterback then decides to change the play by shouting out an audible to his team. These are code words to communicate a new adjustment or play to the team, without the defense knowing what has changed. Shouting the audible and seeing the teammates acknowledge him has taken another 5 seconds off the clock, with 5 seconds to go. Now the quarterback starts their cadence. Usually you hear things like white 80, green 18. As soon as the ball leaves the ground, the play starts. Every player runs their specifically assigned routes. Everyone has a job to do on every play. Some people are blocking defenders, others are running to draw opponents into certain positions on the field to create space for the running back or the receiver to catch the ball. The first thing the quarterback does when he receives the ball is do a post-snap read. As the play unfolds, the quarterback will see what the defense is actually doing, which is why they do a post-snap read. The quarterback is looking at his options and needs to make a pass very quickly. On average, the quarterback has just under 3 seconds to receive the ball, do a post-snap read, and then pass the ball. If the quarterback takes too long, they will get tackled to the ground, which is called a sack. After the post-snap read, the quarterback decides to throw the ball to one of his receivers. Everything the quarterback did prior to this point is all mental, but now it's down to his physical skills. He has to throw a pinpoint accurate pass on time when the receiver is free. The receiver then catches the ball and then gets tackled. As soon as he has hit the ground, the 40-second play clock timer starts again, and they repeat this process all over again. If there's not much time left in the game and they're losing, they will not use up all the 40 seconds. They have to be faster than that. But if they're winning the game, they may want to take up all of those 40 seconds to chew up the game clock. Anyway, that's enough football for one session, and I hope this has answered some questions and gotten you excited about the game. But I hope it's also made you ask even more questions so that you can dive deeper and learn more about the sport. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.